SoTellUs Time. It's another SoTellUs Time with our SoTellUs Time family. We are super excited to be with you guys today. It's going to be a good day talking about business stuff. How to grow your business, how to deal with certain situations. These are all the things that we like to talk about with the more than 30, almost 40 years of experience that Troy and I have in the business world, building companies, running companies, and dealing with all the day-to-day crap. Right? So today we're going to be talking about replicating yourself. At some point in your business, you will find that you can't do it all. You can't do it all by yourself, right?
Yep.
You are eventually going to have to replicate yourself. Some of the greatest businesses and entrepreneurs in the world all had to learn this the hard way. They realized they could grow a really good business. I know, guys, that, if your aspirations are just to pay your bills and have enough business to keep yourself busy, that's okay. But most people want more than that.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at your business and realize when is the right time to grow and when is the right time to replicate yourself. Because as business owners, someday you're going to have to hire somebody, right?
Yep.
But how do you do that so that you can expand your company and yet maintain that awesome service and feel that your company's always been, right? A lot of, as consumers, we like that ma and pa feel, right? We like that homegrown business feel, but we also want all the, thrills of a big business, right?
Yes.
So how do we do that? When is the right time to do that? We've got some great examples, some very wealthy people who have done very well in building their businesses as examples for you guys today. So Troy, let's dive in.
Yeah, so I thought what we'd do first off is, because again, when we're talking about replicating ourselves, we're talking about the customer service side of it, making sure that the culture that you had in your business when it was just maybe you or you and a couple employees, that culture continues on.
Yeah, because think about it. When it's just you and everything's on the line, you take care of your customers and provide service like nobody's business, right?
Yeah, you're going to bend over backwards to make sure that you make that customer happy, because if they go away and take their money away, it's coming out of your pocket.
But as companies grow, things start to loosen up and change, and you can get away from the core values or the culture that you've created that your clients are used to.
Yeah, just think about when you get employees on, right? Mm-hmm. An employee, if they don't make the customer happy and the customer takes their business somewhere else, it doesn't necessarily affect their paycheck.
Right.
But it affects you as the business. So how do you create that culture, right? And one of the things we were thinking about, we were talking about this, was Zappos.
They're
and
awesome.
We've talked about Zappos in the past, and I think we might have even shared this story, but we're going to share it again because it's really important. And if you don't know anything about Zappos, they were one of the first online shoe stores where you could go and order any shoes you want. And, the biggest problem they had was that you order the shoes, you get the shoes, they don't fit.
Yep.
Right? And then you're like, so people were hesitant to order shoes online because you've always gone into the store, you've tried it on, you've made sure it feels good before you bought it. You couldn't do that on the internet. So they, created this great customer service, this great culture where it's like, hey, it doesn't matter. You order the shoe, it doesn't fit, you send it back, and you get another shoe kind of thing. You pick what you want. So they really believed in their customer service. And in fact, they believed in it so much, their CEO was a guy named Tony, and they were out one night and a bunch of people hanging out, and he was bragging on how great his customer service was. And someone else kind of called him out on it and said, oh, yeah, how good is your customer service? It can't be that good. It can't be that much better than everybody else's. Yeah. And he's like, no, our customer service is amazing. And it was 11 o'clock at night. They were sitting in a hotel room, and the room service was shut down. There wasn't any more room service at that point. And he says to this other person, he says, my customer service is so good. He goes, why don't you call my customer service line right now and tell them that you want to order a pizza? And they're like, what? And he's like, just do it. Call into my customer service line and tell them you need help finding a place that will deliver a pizza tonight to your hotel. And sure enough, the person picked up the phone, called into Zappos, started talking to the customer service rep, and they're like, oh, what can I help you with? Have you ordered some shoes? They're like, no, I'm in LA and I'm staying at this hotel and there's no room service anymore and I really want pizza.
That's awesome.
But I don't know any place that delivers pizza at 11 o'clock at night to this hotel. And sure enough, the customer service rep was like, well, let me get on the internet and look and see what I can find. And they did a search and then gave him a name. Okay, here's the name and here's the phone number. Give them a call. They'll deliver a pizza to your room. Yeah. And they were freaking out that this shoe company would do that kind of customer service at 11 o'clock at night. But there was a culture there, right?
Yeah.
They created, it wasn't just one employee that happened to be, they didn't just happen to get the best employee that worked there. It was the culture, right? And that's why Amazon bought Zappos for $1.2 billion instead of just launching their own Amazon shoe store.
And they could have.
Yes.
You got Amazon that everybody buys everything off of, and all they have to do is create a new section called shoes.
Yeah. In fact, the funny thing is that, I read the biography of Jeff Bezos, and they talk in there multiple times where he wanted to buy another company or, and he couldn't get the company. So he would just start a competitor, and he would underprice him and he would just keep selling things at a loss until he had all the market share.
That's right.
So he could have done that to Zappos, but he didn't. And here's why. It was because of their customer service and their culture. In fact, Bezos said when he purchased them for $1.2 billion, he said, Zappos has a one-of-a-kind culture that has bred its success. It's also one that no company, even Amazon, can easily replicate.
Yeah, didn't he say something about getting like weak in the knees?
Oh yeah, he says he was talking in that same article. He says, just looking at your customers and how crazy your customers are about Zappos makes me weak in my knees.
Yeah, it's so cool.
It's crazy, but that's why he was willing to spend $1.2 billion. It was the culture that he wanted to get, right? And he wanted that culture in Amazon. Now, Trevor, why don't you tell the story about one of our customers?
Yes. So we're all dealing with day-to-day business, right? We own businesses. We have clients. We have thousands and thousands of clients. We have lots of several employees that manage all of these thousands of clients, and we've got multiple businesses. So we deal with this stuff on a daily basis as well. And just recently, so we all know 2020 hit, and I usually have at least a couple trips a year.
Yeah.
Family trips, and then we have lots of business trips and all this stuff. Well, everything, just like everybody, got canceled for 2020. So in 2021, this year, everything has been hitting in a row, right?
Yeah.
So I've been doing a ton of traveling, having lots of fun, but posting about it, right?
Yeah.
Sharing our experience, sharing our travel and everything. Well, we got a message from a client that didn't feel like they were getting the attention that they normally get from us, and they were upset about it. And at first, I was ticked. I was like, man, first off, my support is awesome. Our support staff is awesome. We've got top-notch employees.
Yeah.
We've created a phenomenal company culture. Our employees will take care of our clients just as well as we do. The other thing is I work on all of these trips, whether it's there is no break, right?
Yeah.
We know this. Entrepreneurs know this. You all know this for the most part, most of you. I mean, if you're in the service industry, when you leave, you might be answering some phone calls and emails and things like that, but we're literally because we're online, we're taking our business with us as we go, right?
Yes.
So at first I was mad. I was like, oh, dude, I'm just, and then I had to stop. And I had to step back and I had to look at it from the customer's perspective. He had asked a question he didn't feel like he had gotten the answer to, and so he didn't feel like he had gotten the service that he was used to, because our service is awesome. Yeah. I say all the time, we are a customer service company first that happens to dabble in design, development, and marketing, right? So once I calmed down, I realized that, hey, he's just frustrated with this one situation. It's okay. We just need to take care of it for him and, move on. But that's the thing is even in our business, even though, here we are talking about this on a podcast, we've got all these companies, we've dealt with this stuff before. No business is perfect, right?
Right.
And nobody's perfect. And so we have to stay on top of this as well in our businesses, that we don't even give, because the appearance. So I was still working. Our employees were here working. Everybody was working. You were on some of the vacations with me and traveling, but you were here too. So really the reality of it was the support and service was there, right? The answer was there. The answer had been given. But to the customer, I was traveling, I was posting about it, and I was doing all this stuff, and it looked like, well, hey, I'm not getting the service that I normally get because you're off having a party time, Right. And so I realized, okay, hey, you know what? I just need to calm down and deal with this in an appropriate way. And it was okay. It was all fine. It was fine. We took care of the situation. But I mean, even us, we deal with this daily. We do podcasts about this kind of stuff, and it still happens to us, right?
Yep, absolutely. So how do you create the right culture? That's what we're going to be talking about right now. And there's a couple of suggestions we're going to give you. First is teach the culture to your new employees. So you can't just expect them to pick up on what the culture is in the company.
Right.
You need to actively teach them what the culture is. We tell our employees we are a customer service business first, and we deal in technology and there's things. So it's always about customer service.
Yes.
And making the customer happy and finding a way to do that. That's first. That's our culture. And we make sure that we teach that to them right from the get-go and don't expect them to just pick up on the fact that that's what we do.
Yeah.
The next thing is we actually show the culture in our own actions. And that's really important too, because I've seen this before in companies that I've been in where it's like, oh yeah, customer service is so important to us. But then you have the bosses that are talking bad about their clients or complaining about them in front of their employees. They're like, oh my gosh, I hate that customer. He's such a jerk, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, how's the employee going to feel about that customer?
Exactly.
The next time they talk to him, they're going to be like, yeah, he is a jerk. I don't need to give him great customer service, right? My boss doesn't even like him.
Totally.
So, making sure that you're setting the example in your actions. And then the other thing too is put processes in place to protect the culture.
Yeah.
Right? We've got to protect the culture that you built. And there's several different ways you can do that. One of them might be, automate emails so that you can stay in touch with your clients, right? To make sure that even though now you've got more clients and you can't personally be like emailing every single one of them, make some automation in there to make sure that you're touching them, through those emails or text messages or whatever it might be. That's a great way to do it. You can use a ticketing system that actually pushes. We do this. We have a ticketing system. Tickets come into our employees. They have a certain time frame to get back to the customer. And they have to get back to the customer within a certain time frame. They've got to resolve the ticket within a certain time frame. And if they can't resolve it, then they've got to follow up with the customer. And the system keeps them on track so that they are, frequently communicating with the customer until the problem is solved.
And checks and balances. So we have it to where most of the time, several people are on emails, right?
Yes.
Or in tickets, or so that if, it may be a support thing, but the salesman or saleswoman, the salesperson, right, that sold them, may be copied on all their communication as well, just so that, because it can affect the salesperson if somebody leaves.
Yeah.
Right? Or they might not get referrals or whatever. And so the salesperson is helping to checks and balance with the support staff. And then a lot of times, Troy and I are copied on a lot of things as well, too. So I may just have to skim it and move on. No big deal. But with doing that, I can at least step in where I need to and then just move on with 99% of everything else. The team can take care of it. And every once in a while, I have to step in.
Exactly.
But it's still checks and balances.
Yeah, and that's a great thing with the ticketing system because, one or two people might be busy in the company. They're on a phone call. They're doing something else. Someone else can grab the ticket, answer it, and make sure the customer gets taken care of.
Yeah.
And even if they may not be able to completely solve the problem for them, they can at least communicate with them and say, okay, great, I'm going to transfer this over to Isaac now because he's going to be able to help you completely with it, to solve it 100%.
Well, and that's the thing is like when Ron started the company and I came in, people would be like, well, no, I want to talk to Ron. And I'm like, well, but Ron's not available. Sorry, you're going to have to work with me. And then when Troy came on, they were like, well, I want to talk to Trevor or Troy, or Trevor or Ron.
Yep.
And Troy's like, well, they're not available right now, but I can help you. And then when we brought employees on, it was like, no, I want to talk to Ron or Trevor or Troy. And it's funny though, because even with our employees, we'll get to where people will call and be like, well, no, I want to talk to Isaac.
Yeah.
And Nick's like, well, he's not available right now, but I can help you and I will give you the same level of support that Isaac would. We all love you guys. But they get attached to certain people. And so growth can be hard.
Yes.
If you don't control it right.
Yep. So you got to have those processes and everything in place. Another thing you can do is use a system to track customer satisfaction. That's really important too, because if you aren't tracking your customer satisfaction, how happy they are with your services, then you could have a problem that you don't even know about, and you could be losing customers, and you could lose a lot of customers before you ever figure it out.
Yeah.
So using polls or surveys, employee ratings, or reviews, looking at the reviews, those are all ways for you to get feedback on how your team is doing and if they are maintaining and protecting the culture of the company. So putting those in place are really important. All right, homework. Trevor, do you want to give us the homework for today?
Well, and I was going to say too, and did you talk about rewarding?
Oh, no, I did not.
Talk about rewarding the employees?
Yeah, we should probably talk about rewarding them too.
Okay, you do it.
All right, so rewarding, that's the final thing that we're going to talk about is rewarding your employees for providing great customer service.
Yes.
Looking for ways to do that. Go back to some of our other podcasts. We've talked about great programs that you can utilize to help reward your employees, but look for ways to reward them and to show everybody else that they're doing a great job when it comes to customer service.
I feel like employees in businesses, there's like the positions that have bonus structures, right?
Yes.
And they're the standard ones. But a lot of times when I walk into a company, their support staff doesn't have a bonus structure. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you not? They are your front line. They are your infantry. They are there to take care. They are the first person that interacts with the new client and your business, right? So they are super important.
Yes.
A lot of times businesses look at like the support side of it. The support staff is like a low paying position, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And they look at it as, easily replaced and all that. That is not our company. No. We pay our support staff well. We have bonus structures set up, and they are literally crucial to the success of our business. Yeah. And if you don't think of your client or your support staff like that, then you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
So you need to change that.
Yeah. Our support staff love our bonus programs because they can make, big bonuses in their paycheck. It makes a big difference in their life.
Heck yeah.
Just for maintaining the customer culture and making sure the customers are happy.
That's right. All right. On to homework, guys. Okay, so what you need to do is take one of these suggestions this week, implement it in your business. Look at how can you either make the support better for your clients, or how can you make sure that the company culture, the values that you have for your business roll out to your employees so that they, your clients still feel that same loyalty and love and support. Whatever that is, look at one of these things, pick it, implement it, and let's grow your business. Yes?
All right.
All right. Let me hear everybody say yes. Oh, good job. All right, guys, we will catch you guys on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.